Organic ACT of 1871. Formally an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, is an act of Congress that repealed the individual charters of the cities of Washington and Georgetown and established a new territorial government for the whole District of Columbia. Though Congress repealed the territorial government in 1874, the legislation was the first to create a single municipal government for the federal district. The new government consisted of an appointed governor and 11-member council, a locally elected 22-member assembly, and a board of public works charged with modernizing the city. 7. The seal of the District of Columbia features the date 1871, recognizing the year the district's government was incorporated. That created the all capital letters United States of America, thereby creating a private U.S. corporation which is its own city-state of its own country with its own mayor, police force, constitution, post office, pays no taxes and is not beholden to any other country. Just like the City of London and the Vatican, the United States of America, in all capitals, represents a fictitious corporation. Your birth certificate, driver's license, SSN, bank statements, are all written in capital letters, which means you have registered, submitted and/or applied to be a part of the United States of America. Corporation is a fictitious character. The United States of America is located in the District of Columbia. What is the District of Columbia and what are the other districts? Vatican, City of London. The owners of the private corporation, the United States of America, are the City of London and the Vatican. When we pay taxes, we voluntarily submit our tax returns to Washington, D.C., yet pay our taxes to the United States Treasury, a private corporation registered in Puerto Rico. Source: Henry Paulson, Timothy Geithner, Stephen T. Mnuchin, Janet Louise Yellen, and every Treasury Secretary since 1913 are appointed but not as cabinet members. The Secretary of the Treasury is as a corporate governor of what is known as the fund or the bank and several other international organizations. The U.S. Secretary of the Treasury is not sworn in and speaks no oath of loyalty or defense of the United States. The obligation of this Secretary-Governor is to the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. All employees of the IMF governor are paid by the fund directly, or out of funds supplied to the governor of the fund specifically for that purpose. The IMF governor is not paid by the U.S. government as he/she is not employed by that government. The current president is the CEO of the foreign corporation, the United States of America, named Trump. The United States of America is written in small cap letters and represents the original Constitution of America. One must not join the U.S. corporation if they wish to have the rights of free people, but by registering, submitting or applying, we are unwittingly joining the U.S. corporation, which for most of us starts at our birth. Global government entities are corporations registered and incorporated in the United States of America in Washington, D.C., some of whom are 1944 IMF International Monetary Fund http://www.imf.org. Specialized Agency of the UN Washington, D.C. 1944 IBRD International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. http://www.worldbank.org. World Bank Group. Specialized Agency of the UN Washington, D.C. 1956 IFC International Finance Corporation. http://www.ifc.org. World Bank Group Washington, D.C. 1960 IDA International Development Association. http://www.worldbank.org. IDA. World Bank Group Washington, D.C. 1966 ICSID, International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. http://ICSID.worldbank.org. ICSID Index JSP. World Bank Group, Washington, D.C. 1988 MIGA Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. http://www.miga.org. World Bank Group, Washington, D.C. Today, almost all mothers, black or white, unknowingly inform on their own babies. Take a look at the so-called birth certificate of live birth where the mother signs, and you will see the title of the box stating in small print, mother or other informant. The word other makes the mother an informant. By signing the birth certificate as an informer, she contracts with the government, putting her child and her child's future labor as collateral for the national debt. Servitude slavery. The father or mother can rescind the contract within 3 business days. Truth in lending. Since the birth certificate neither lists the father as the husband nor lists the wife's acceptance of the father's surname as her own but has the mother's maiden name instead, the baby is considered a bastard. Bastards are therefore under the care and control of the priest rule, democracy, and can be taken from the mother at any time. The hospitals receive a fairly large monetary benefit, $3,000, more or less, per child, from the corporate government for having birth certificates filled out and signed. Birth certificate was created to offset U.S. bankruptcy declared in 1933 to satisfy bankers and creditors of U.S. debt. Legally, since your birth your artificial person has been considered a slave or indentured servant to the various federal, provincial and municipal governments via your state-issued, state-created birth certificate in the name of your all-caps person. Your birth certificate was issued so that the issuer could claim exclusive title to the legal person created. This was further compounded when you voluntarily obtained a driver's license and a SSN social security number. The state even owns your personal and private life through your state-issued marriage license certificate issued in the all-caps names. You have had no rights in birth, marriage, nor will you have them even in death unless you recapture your straw man. The names on tombstones in cemeteries are in all caps. The state holds the title to your legal person it created via your birth certificate, until Jane Mary Doe, the rightful owner, the holder and due course of the instrument, that is yourself, redeems it. On April 5, 1933, then President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, under executive order, issued April 5, 1933, declared, all persons are required to deliver on or before May 1, 1933 all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank, branch or agency, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve System. James A. Farley, Postmaster General at that time, required each postmaster in the country to post a copy of the executive order in a conspicuous place within each branch of the post office. There's something else you should know. Everything, since June 1933, operates in commerce. Commerce is based on agreement, contract. Government has an implied agreement with the straw man, strawman, government's creation, and the straw man, strawman, is subject to government rule, as we illustrated above. But when we, the real flesh and blood man and woman, step into their process we become the surety for the fictional straw man, strawman. Reality and fiction are reversed. We then become liable for the debts, liabilities and obligations of the straw man, strawman, relinquishing our real, protected character as we stand up for the fictional straw man, strawman. The people are in the state and national government at that same time. The public government is an artificial entity. The government is owned and controlled by the same people. So the government is a sole organization, not an aggregate organization. As long as a man is dealing publicly, he is in a sole relationship with the public. The straw man, being artificial, lives in the artificial place called the public. At the same time as people are acting collectively in the larger body of people called the state and national government, they maintain their ability to act individually on a private basis. The people did not give up the rights they did not delegate to the government, they retained those rights. Any man can contract privately as they see fit and government cannot interfere with the private contracts of men. The straw man lives in the public side of government. He is part of the public government, and functions under the laws of the public. This is necessary and proper because the creator of an entity has the right to control it. Since the government created the straw man, it is only right that the straw man live under the rules of its creator. But once the straw man has been redeemed, the government is no longer in control of the straw man. He is now controlled by the man using his right to private contracts. The Constitution for the United States of America, now known or referred to as the Organic Constitution. This constitution established a central government with limited powers to do the will of the people. Its purpose was to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. The Constitution of Bankruptcy Compact designates and limits the powers of the newly established central government and restrict its venue to a district not exceeding 10 miles square and areas purchased for forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. The Organic Constitution was created in 1787, adopted 1789, and amended 1791. The Constitution of the United States, the original organic constitution, was adopted by the corporation as its bylaws. The original 13th Amendment was replaced, and other amendments added, some by fraud. The 14th Amendment was not ratified. Utah Supreme Court cases. Diet v. Turner 1968, 439, P2D 266, 267. State v. Phillips 1975, 540, P2D 936, as well as Coleman v. Miller, 307 U.S. 448, 59s. Court. 972, 28 Tulane Law Review, 22, 11 South Carolina Law Quarterly 484, Congressional Record, June 13, 1967, pp. 15641, 15646. Also see. The 14th Amendment never passed. The 16th Amendment was not ratified by the states. Documented research in the law that never was by Bill Benson and Red Beckman.